Today we are reacting to a video by Teaching Men's Fashion, Jose Zuniga, who actually has his own fragrance line, but traditionally he's one of the big names on YouTube for fashion in general for men. I think this would be an interesting video to react to, guys, because it's interesting for us fragrance community people to see what non-frag heads think of fragrances. For the average guy, you know, how does he use a fragrance? What is the market like? How do guys buy fragrances? Here we have a 300,000 views video by Jose called 7 Fragrances Men Need to Stop Using. I've had similar titles in the past as well. It's controversial, putting down popular fragrances, so I always respect creators who do that. Let's watch the video.
Look, all the 7 that I'm going to talk about in this video I wear and I even have in my collection, but the truth is they're a little played out, right? Everybody wears them, which makes it harder to...
I think it's okay to have fragrances that are played out. At the end of the day, I make these kind of videos giving you alternatives to popular fragrances for guys who really want to smell unique. But if it's not a priority for you, first of all, does the fragrance make you feel good whilst you're wearing it? If you enjoy wearing a fragrance, just wear it. It doesn't matter how popular it is. And second of all, these fragrances are popular for a reason. You can always have a few popular fragrances and a few unique ones anyways in your collection. Doesn't mean you have to stop wearing them.
Harder to compliment because every guy is starting to smell the same. And the reality is that there are unique, kind of undervalued or underappreciated fragrances out there that smell just as good, if not better, and will get you more compliments.
That is true. Some brands sell you fragrances purely based on their hype. There are some underrated fragrances out there, of course. But at the same time, DIOR SAUVAGE, for example, is a good quality fragrance. DIOR, Chanel, these big houses are good quality brands. And usually when you buy knockoff clones or from other brands that aren't as established, let's face it, you a lot of times will not get the same quality, okay? That's my opinion. I don't know if you guys agree with that.
Number 1, BLEU de Chanel. Just because back in the day, this was that going out this was like that going out fragrance, the fragrance that every dude put on when they're going out, and it's for a reason. I go out to the street, have women smell test BLEU de Chanel. I'm telling you, almost no woman will ever tell you that this fragrance does not smell good. It just works, and because of that, every dude that she's hooked up with has probably used this cologne around her.
Yes, okay, BLEU de Chanel is safe and an all-rounder. It is very safe. I think it's still a masterpiece. I think the reason it's so popular is because it has such great perfumery. Let's face it, it's worth having in your collection if you're a frag head. Will you smell like her ex? Potentially, but if you're getting serious with a girl, you can just communicate with her, ask her what she thinks of the fragrances, and if it's a big no-no, it smells like her ex, then get rid of it, wear something else. But at the end of the day, most guys probably don't wear colognes anyway, so there we are. You can probably still rock BLEU de Chanel.
And since fragrances are great for just memory recollection, all you'll do every time you wear BLEU de Chanel is give her passionate flashbacks of her ex. So instead, F her ex, and instead use Versace Dylan Blue. It's a fragrance that has a similar vibe, but has a unique twist. It's gonna catch her off guard.
Dylan Blue instead of BLEU de Chanel, I don't know. I think that's too much of a downgrade. Dylan Blue feels too much inspired by BLEU de Chanel anyways. I would say if you want an alternative to BLEU de Chanel, get something like Ferragamo's ACQUA Essenziale Blue. I think that's a better and also cheaper alternative.
Number 2, you see this coming, I see this coming, DIOR SAUVAGE. Look, this one hurts personally. I have DIOR, I've used it for years. It's gotten me countless of compliments.
And just so you know, the eau de toilette will still get you compliments and it still performs. So SAUVAGE is still functionally very good. There's a reason why it's so popular.
Well, that was before, and now every guy and their mother uses DIOR SAUVAGE. You go to the club, it's like walking, remember when you used to walk into Hollister and you just got like hit with that Hollister fragrance? This is what happens when you go into clubs.
That's true. In the clubs nowadays, all you will smell is probably Stronger With You, SAUVAGE, or Invictus.
Smell is DIOR SAUVAGE. It's not gonna help you stand out anymore. Instead, I'd recommend you using Creed Aventus. See?
Okay, I'm gonna have to stop him right there. You can't just say DIOR SAUVAGE smells too common and then go to Creed Aventus, which itself is a very common niche fragrance, but also has about 100 different clones pushing out the DNA as well. No, if you don't like SAUVAGE making you smell too common, let's say in the club, A better alternative would be something like Azzaro's The Most Wanted. It still has that spicy sharpness from Sauvage, but it's a little bit more sweet and sexy and more unique. So if you want to stand in the clubs, get The Most Wanted, not Creed Aventus. And if you want a daily signature that's an alternative to Sauvage, get YSL-Y EDP.
The third fragrance I never want to see is Versace Eros. The Versace Eros is embedded in Greek mythology, with Eros being that...
Just so you know about Eros, the eau de toilette anyways, I've barely smelt it on other guys personally myself. I only smelt it on a few friends, and I've thought this fragrance actually does smell surprisingly high quality. I know if you own it yourself you may not think so, but it smells really high quality in the air, and it's still extremely sexy. Even the new batches, I got the 2019 batch and I'm still getting 12 hours. I still think Versace Eros works as well.
You know how every guy has that going out shirt? This is your going out fragrance.
I'm not sure who that guy is in that clip. I don't know why he sprayed that on himself and did that weird shimmy. Do you guys do a weird little shimmy when you apply your fragrance? Because I know I do.
By the Mont Blanc Legend Night. This is a super underappreciated fragrance that smells just as delicious.
Okay, we didn't talk more about Versace Eros there, but if you want an alternative to Versace Eros, again, Wanted, The Most Wanted by Azzaro, or go for Stronger With You, absolutely. Or Mancera's Instant Crush as well, one of those three. And he's saying now, Mont Blanc Legend Night. Yeah, bear in mind, it's a cheap fragrance. In my opinion, a lot of cheap fragrances aren't very high quality. I always say to us guys really passionate about fragrances, get quality over quantity. There are much better nighttime fragrances out there. As I said, Jose is probably talking to the average Cologne user who doesn't mind spending 30 bucks for one of their main fragrances in their collection.
Number 4 is Acqua di Gio. See, it's long-lasting.
No, Acqua di Gio, the original, does not perform. Get Profumo before it becomes completely discontinued, or Profundo.
Long-lasting, it's sexy, but honestly, it's just played out, and it's also affordable because it's been out for a while, and because it's so affordable, every guy has it.
Interesting. I haven't seen Acqua di Gio, the original, being that affordable. It's still a pricey fragrance, in the UK at least.
I want you to try the Acqua di Gio Profumo. See, what most guys don't understand, and you should already because I've explained it to you, is that there's different levels of fragrance. The regular Acqua di Gio is a EDT, which is an eau de toilette.
Okay, that pronunciation was pretty horrendous. I'm not a snob about that kind of stuff, but it's pronounced eau de toilette, guys. I'm not French, so maybe my pronunciation isn't perfect either, but it's definitely not what he just said.
Pronouncing it in French, we would say eau de toilette,
which is the highest concentrated version of the Acqua di Gio. It's more expensive, so there's a higher barrier of entry, and it has a similar vibe, but it's just way more intense and it lasts longer.
Of course, as you guys may or may not appreciate, with concentrations, it's a bit of a generalization. It's really more dependent on the ingredients and composition of the fragrance rather than how much fragrance oil is packed into the bottle. We all know, for example, that the eau de toilette of Sauvage is the best performing version of the fragrance. And then we have Sauvage Elixir, which is the most oily, and you think it should be closest to the skin because it has less alcohol to dissipate it, but I find it's probably one of the most strongest projecting concentrations of Sauvage. So again, the concentration thing is a general rule, but it's not always a fact.
Number 5, Jean-Paul Gaultier. This was like the DIOR Sauvage of the 2000s. Everywhere you went, every club you went to, guys were wearing this fragrance to go out. It's delicious.
In fairness, Jean-Paul Gaultier is not as popular anymore, but in my opinion still smells modern. Because it's kind of gone out of fashion a little bit, it's still very popular for the brand. I think you could rock this as a fantastic signature. Obviously it's not as strong as it used to be.
You know what, now that I think about it, I have not used this fragrance easily in 8 to 10 years. I think the last time I used it, I was like 15, 16, and I had gone through like 3 bottles of this stuff because I loved it. So I think it's time to resurrect it. I think it's time to combat the new DIOR Sauvage with the old DIOR Sauvage.
Yeah, I agree. It becomes so old, it goes out of fashion for a bit, that it becomes cool again. Sort of like corduroy jackets, guys, back in. Jean-Paul Gaultier Le Male is back in.
If you've never tried Jean-Paul Gaultier, give it a shot. I guarantee you, life-changing. And finally, number 6, PACO Rabanne 1 million. This one is wrapped around that oud or desire to be successful, to be somebody, hence the name 1 million. It's that heavy hitter that for every guy that wants to make an entrance or...
I want to say 1 million, the original, is like a hustler, successful business guy kind of fragrance. It's more of a sexy party time fragrance as we all appreciate. I still think it smells fantastic. It does smell a little bit old school now. The synthetics they use, it smells like from a different era. It reminds you of 2010, as I always say. But it still gets you compliments. You can still wear it if you really want to.
Especially in the office, this is the one they use. And it was good at its time, but it's played out. So
did anyone use 1 million in the office? That is a strange time to use the original 1 million.
I think it's time to retire, and instead, I want you to try the Creed Himalaya. Yes, it's way more expensive, but it's for true.
That is such a weird alternative to suggest to PACO Rabanne 1 million. So he's saying 1 million is an office fragrance, and then get Himalaya instead, which is more of a citrus musky scent. Very different fragrances. Creed Himalaya is a fantastic scent, but it's a bit overpriced. I would say just get the original PACO Rabanne XS. As an alternative, PACO Rabanne 1 million, an alternative to that would be something like Versace Eros Flame or the original Stronger Review. They're more of a similar vibe than Himalaya. It's a bit of a strange comparison. What do you guys think?
It uses grapefruit as its top note, similar to 1 million, but it's a delicious smell I guarantee no one else in your office has smelled, and definitely no girl around you has smelled. And that's basically it for this week's video, guys. Those are 6 fragrances that I think we should just stop wearing.
So yeah, that was an interesting video by Jose. I'm not sure what to think. I think some of his judgments are off, especially with PACO Rabanne 1 million. As I said, life is too short as it is. Wear whatever you enjoy. But of course, I've also done these kind of videos before. Haven't we all? If you want to check out our shorts on this very same topic, don't buy these popular fragrances, buy these instead. Check it out, guys. That's it. I don't know what else to say, guys. Do you enjoy these reaction types of videos? What do you guys think of teaching men's fashion? Make sure to have a fantastic day wherever you are. We'll see you in the next one. Class dismissed.